So welcome to the Mo 300 and 250. Little comparison. We're high above the Purple Mountain Majesty fruited plain. Been riding around all day. Now it's getting cold and dark thanks to Jay taking a while to make this all happen, but that's okay. What we got, with the CBR Honda 300R, it's about 285 cc. It's about a $4,400 motorcycle. Ninja 300 is a twin. It's about $5,000 without ABS, and it's a great little motorcycle. Kind of what got us going is the SYM, because I don't think we ever tested a SYM before, as far as I know. This would be the Symfighter. It's a 250cc liquid cooled single also, and we didn't really know anything about it, so we brought it out here to ride with our friend Ty Long Lee. Helps us out now and then. He's an audio engineer, so he works at night. It works. Friend Tom Roderick, as always. You may not have heard about the SYM, but it's made in Taiwan. SYM is Sanyang Motors, and according to the internet, they've been actually building motorcycles, cars for a long time. So maybe you haven't heard of them, but they've been cranking out motorcycles in other parts of the world for a long time. And to look at this bike, it looks like a pretty nice bike. It's got a nice four-piston caliper on front with a steel braided line. It's got pretty good quality chrome, the little bit of chrome it has. It's nice stuff. It has good fasteners that don't appear like they're gonna rust instantly, and it's got really nice components all over it, so we brought it out for a ride. How does it ride, Tom?
How does it ride? Well, you know, engine-wise, that was the first thing when I got it on the freeway this morning, leaving your house, John. I mean, smoother than the Honda was my first thought, because the 300F, when we tested it, I complained a lot about the engine vibration. That thing was like, you know, all the way up to its top speed of like 85 miles an hour, you know, redlining, it was fine. Got it out here in the twisties a little bit, and it started showing some of its lesser qualities. We definitely all felt a little bit of chatter on the front when you're doing some brakes, and there was a kind of nervousness in the front end when you're going, you know, kind of back and forth through the twisties. There's always felt like it was kind of the verge of going into a tank slapper a little bit. No, you know, might be a little bit of the front end geometry, could have something to do with the, say, lower grade suspension, not sure there. But, you know, beyond that though, I mean, it handled well. You can get it down, it's great pegs.
You can flick it back and forth. It gets, it's light in its steering, and you can toss it around quite a bit. Maybe because of the ergos and the upright bars, maybe that contributes to the you know, to the leverage.
It's got those kind of funky bent bars.
And speaking of which, yeah, the bars are, it's kind of weird. They're up, and they've got this sweep like a sport bike, and you're completely in, but they're up.
And they're narrow,
yeah,
too.
If I wanted a bar with that much sweep, I'd want to be tucked down a little bit more.
You've got the best ergos in the Honda. The Cowie's close, it's just, I think it's a little bit closer ratio in the seat to foot pegs. The foot pegs are a little bit higher.
A little bit higher, that's true.
And the Symfighter over here, it had me the most scrunched. I mean, overall kind of rider triangle.
Yeah.
You know, these guys had a little bit better spread to the bars and stuff. I felt okay, but this guy was kind of like, you know, kind of like the TU250 that we did last summer.
Oh, I think at the end of the day, yeah, it's a great bike. It's got a lot of great components, but maybe it's not quite, all the components don't work together as well to make a seamless whole when it comes to riding around the mountain roads. It's not quite as together a package.
Well, it's not as refined, I think. It runs out of beans. Yeah. You sit on it and you give it gas, and it just runs out.
Yeah. Speaking of beans, that the engine in that thing in the F made, and this is the same engine in the F, it made 25 horsepower. The last time we did a Ninja, it made about 35. So the Ninja will take off and leave the Honda. It costs a little bit more money, but it's got more performance. I think it's got the best suspension and the best handling up here. The Honda's close to it. If they're going downhill, the Honda can hang with it. If you're going uphill, the Ninja will leave the Honda behind.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
This feels like the most advanced motorcycle here. It commands the highest price at $5 grand, but I think it's deservedly so. You know, the engine, it feels, you know, like I said, a real, say, motorcycle engine. It spins up. It's got a really nice, soft rev limiter. It just kind of like feathers off the top of that, no problem. The other two, you're kind of like, you know, banging into a ceiling. It's only $300 more for the ABS, so if you're actually going to step into this price range, you know, I would say you could spend the extra $3 on the ABS.
it kind of seems like on all three of these bikes, in lieu of them having ABS, they kind of have poor man's ABS. On the Honda too, I kind of liked the brakes at first, but then after we went downhill a ways, like when you really want to stop, and it doesn't have an adjustable lever, and you'll pull that lever back on your other two fingers before you lock up the front wheel. And I think the Kawasaki's like that too. And when you use the brakes a lot, they kind of fade, and they'd be really hard to lock up on any of these bikes, I think.
The brakes on this is what I didn't like. I mean, they're nicely modulated and stuff, but you can modulate them, but you don't get any extra stopping power. I mean, they're very weak. The question though is, basically you got $600 between them, $5, $44, and $38. So is the SYM, $600 worth of savings compared to the Honda? Is the Honda $600 worth of savings compared to the Kawasaki?
Not in my book. I'd rather have this bike for a couple reasons. If I was a beginner, this bike feels more legit to me, right? And once I'm done with the bike, I'm gonna want to sell it. And I don't know anyone who knows what this is. And in fact, I don't even know what this is. I did not know what this is until I got here. So I would think that the resale, at least now, who knows, maybe they'll make a push in the country, and maybe 5-10 years from now they'll be everywhere, and everyone will have one in the garage. But for now, if I'm going to keep a bike for a year or two or a few months as a beginner, I'm going to want to be able to flip it when I get into the next bike. I don't think I'll be able to flip this bike easily.
I did check on SYM's website, and that they've got five dealers in Southern California. I was in a hurry. I didn't check the rest of the country, so I don't know. But they've got a dealer finder online. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of them, but we did certainly want to give them a chance, and I think we gave them a chance.
I think it did impress us, like you were talking about the quality and the fasteners. I mean, its overall looks, fit and finish, and I mean, its performance stuff is a little lesser than the two Japanese bikes, but really it did impress us as an unknown entity, much more than a lot of the other, say, unknown Asian manufacturers in the last 5 to 10 years.
But yeah, and as we said, they're kind of beginner bikes. They're all really good for just zipping around town because they're all really light. The handlebars are all above the triple clamps on all of them. So the Honda and the Ninja look a little sporty, but they're actually standard for riding positions, very close to it. And they're great little bikes for not much money. They get great gas mileage too, which is, the price of gas is down, but that's still a good thing. Anyhow, we can't ride anymore. It's getting dark. We're going to have to sign off and talk about this a little bit more before we decide a complete winner. You'll have to read the story on Motorcycle.com.